Hello everyone, I'm Doc,
I'm Hallie, or Indigo Moon,
and together we are the Psychic Realm.
of Secret Magic.
It's always a pleasure to be working with you and to discuss these topics of the metaphysical world that you and I both enjoy. And sometimes some people have different ideas and different concepts of what these topics are. But
Well, this is our first show.
First show.
First show.
And we're going to, basically in this first show, we're going to talk about who we are, what we do, and how we got to be where we are.
It's our favorite topic.
It's it. Definitely talking about ourselves.
Us, about ourselves.
Yeah,
Probably about the
definitely.
only
So-
show we're going to do that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So I'll let you go first.
Okay. I'm Indigo Moon, as I said, or Hallie. And I knew I was an intuitive from a very small child, but I grew up in a Catholic family. And it wasn't discussed much, although it wasn't taboo, per se. My grandmother believed in fairies and the fae realm, and my mother always had a healthy respect for magic, and kind of grew up in the American Indian type traditions. We were very close to the earth, we gardened, but the psychic thing was something that just was not talked about. And what about you?
Well, I was intuitive from an early age. From the age of about 3, I was always in touch with my guardian angels and my spirit guides. Of course, growing up in a Catholic family as well, I had no concept of spirit guides. I just thought they were the 4 apostles. And in my family, it was considered to be just kind of cute. Dennis is... Doc is in tune with his angels until I got ready to go to school, and then it was decided that you have to put that aside because people will think you're crazy. And I always wondered, well, why is it that I'm okay today, but tomorrow I'll be crazy if I talk about them? But my grandmother, I had a grandmother who came from Croatia, and back in the early 1900s. And very, very intuitive, very, very much in tune, once again, with nature spirits and so on and so forth. She came across to the United States with a little girl whose mother was the village witch. And so she had a very strong belief in the paranormal and the metaphysical world. My mother was very, very intuitive, but incredibly frightened of it, very, very scared of it. And so consequently, she, on one hand, I had a grandmother who encouraged my abilities, and yet on the other hand, I had a mother who tried her very best to squelch them. So it was kind of a push-pull childhood for me in terms of learning and developing my abilities.
Well, I had some of the same similar things. Grew up in a family with a lot of mental illness, and it was considered taboo because of that. And I watched one of my great uncles, who was schizophrenic, talk to things that weren't there, and he was constantly in and out of mental asylums. And of course, back then they had state-run hospitals. And it was very scary for me because I'm thinking, well, gosh, I see something. I talk to something all the time. And of course, later in life, I learned it was my spirit guide, my main one. But back then, I hid it. You know, I talked to myself all the time. And if someone caught me, I'm like, oh, it's just me. You know, just talking to myself.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. Well, I had pretty much the same experience. I had a mother who pretty much tried to squelch my abilities and things that I picked up. But as a teenager, they came back a much stronger, and to the point where I started off with automatic writing, and my mother found out about it, and I mean, truly threatened to take me to a psychiatrist. And of course, my father was the type that he, fortunately, encouraged my interest in the paranormal and the metaphysical world. And so it was like, mom says don't do it, and dad says just be real careful the way you do it. And so for me, it was it was a kind of a definitely do it, but don't do it. Do it, but don't do it.
Right. Well, for me, it was a definite do it. My dad's still on the don't do it side. And we've just learned not to talk about it today. If I go and visit, it's just kind of not discussed.
Well, I only have a sister left at this point. My brother has crossed over, and we are not in contact with each other. We don't speak to each other. But she would not, being a very staunch Catholic, would not approve of what I'm doing today. But this is who I am, and this is who I enjoy being. And I tried for a number of years to not be who I am. I tried my very best to live two different lives. And as I'm sure you found out, it's incredibly difficult to do.
Well, it doesn't work.
Yeah.
And Spirit doesn't allow you to do that. You do have to make a decision one way or another. You can't just tip your toe in it and ignore your gift.
That's exactly right. And
So
I spent a lot of time denying, not so much denying, but refusing to use my gifts, and until I had a heart attack and had to have open heart surgery, and I was forced to quit, to give up doing what I loved doing. I was a chiropractor, but because of some other health issues, I decided to give it up. And fortunately, I had a friend who had a radio show here in Kansas City, Psychic Talk radio show, and she just called up one day and said, "You're going to take the third Sunday of the month. I'm breaking everything down into a co-host formula, so you're taking the third Sunday of the month. And oh, by the way, here's the list of people you need to call to see if they'll be your guest. And oh, by the way, you're also going to give readings on the air." And
Oh, God,
so
no.
it was like, it was talk about terror. The first Sunday that I walked into the studio and sat down in front of a mic, it was like, oh my God, what have I done?
yeah, I felt that way my first fair. We do fairs.
We do fairs
in about a 6-state area. We do Nebraska, Iowa, Missouri, Kansas, Arkansas, and Oklahoma.
Oklahoma. Yeah, all of them. Yeah.
All of them. So
Yes.
you can find us in any one of those states. We'll actually be in Tulsa this next weekend. Actually, it's Broken Arrow.
Broken Arrow. At the Stony Creek Convention Center and Hotel.
Cindy Green puts on this fair.
It's called the Spirit Fair, and if you're down around the Broken Arrow area and you would like to get a reading from either one of us or both of us, we will be there, and we will be happy to see you, and certainly to get your comments about our first show.
What kind of readings do you do?
I do past life readings. And those past life readings, I include soul lessons. We will look at the lesson that your soul was attempting to learn in a particular lifetime. Then we come back to the present to see if you're still working on that or if you've mastered it. And then after a series of lifetimes, then we look at your dharmic path. What is the, how is your soul fulfilling its karma? And so by doing that, we look at your spiritual lineage in the process.
And we will talk more about Dharma in a later video.
In the future.
It's something that I'm not real familiar with, so I'm going to be educated too. So.
And the kind of readings you give?
So I do mainly crystal readings. Crystals have always spoke to me from a little girl. My great aunt used to bring me specimens all the time. She would travel all over the United States, and she'd bring me little specimens, and they started talking to me. And again, that's where I thought I was crazy. Not a good feeling as a kid to have stones actually talk to you. But as an adult, that's what I do. I actually consult the stones, and between your spirit guides and them, I get information for you.
And I can assure you, when she gives you a crystal reading, you are going to be absolutely astonished, because the crystals that you choose are the ones that form the basis of the reading, and very, very accurate. very, very accurate, and you have a following just about everywhere we go.
I do. I have a lot of people who follow me and will text me later and say nice comments. But you do too. You have a huge following, and his readings are amazing. He puts a story behind your past life, and it brings it forward to this life and makes you understand who you are today and who you were then.
And also my readings help you understand where you are in life in this particular moment, how you got there, and what you need to do in order to improve things in your life, change things.
But it's amazing because the crystals do the same thing.
Exactly the same thing.
They do the same thing.
Exactly the same thing.
We pull from past as well. We bring it forward. We see where there's improvement that can be made.
Exactly.
Education, all kinds of things. So come and see us at the fair. We'd be more than happy to visit with you.
Love to have you there.
Yep. What do we do now?
Well, I think that for the moment we can go ahead and wrap things up. We certainly would like for people, if you enjoyed what we've
the subscribe button.
Subscribe button. Hit that subscribe
button.
Hit
the subscribe button. We're brand new. We need people to watch.
And we welcome your comments.
Yeah, please tell us what you would like us to talk about.
Exactly.
The next video we're going to talk about where our gifts come from. And so that would be a really cool video. It'll cover where our gifts come from and who our guides are.
Exactly.
And how to give thanks back. We're going to cover all those things in our next video.
Yeah. So we plan to have a series of topics in the coming weeks, and if there's anything in particular that you would like us to talk about, to discuss, that you don't quite understand, or you would like maybe you're a little confused about, please send us a comment, and of course subscribe. And we will do our very, very best to put together a show in which we answer the comments.
One thing I want to cover before we leave is what our channel is really based on, what it's really about.
Okay.
And that is that there is no right or no wrong in the metaphysical world. Everybody has their own opinions. They have their own perspective. Yep, that's the word I'm looking for. And our channel is designed and going to be revolving around the fact that nobody is right and nobody is wrong. He and I have different perspectives all the time.
All the time.
All the time.
And the interesting thing is when we talk about our different perspectives, we realize we're talking about the same thing. We just simply approach it from different
from different sides.
Yeah, exactly. And everybody has that right. Everybody sees things from a different perspective, and doesn't make it right, doesn't make it wrong. It just simply is your perspective.
Yep. But one of the things we both run into is the infighting in the metaphysical world, the backstabbing.
It's very, very disheartening. The metaphysical world should be a world of love and light. But what we find and encounter in many, many areas, different fairs, is that there's a lot of jealousy, a lot of fear, and it makes it difficult at times for us to read. So, or I should say, the environment becomes very difficult.
It can become toxic.
Yeah, it can be.
And when you go to a fair and you have all these people clamoring for attention and money and these things, it does become very toxic. So we would like to kind of even that playing field and invite people in. We do enjoy your comments when you come. Hopefully you will comment, and we will read them and we will address them on air, as many as we can. So.
And we may even have a show in which all we simply do is answer people's comments.
Yep, and we will do many readings at times too when people join us live, and that will be fun.
That'll be fun.
That'll be a lot of fun. Now, most of the time you're going to see us in the car. We travel a lot.
Yeah. So
we travel almost every weekend to a fair. Yeah. So more than likely you're going to see us in the car recording, talking about stuff. And that's going to be fun too.
That'll be fun. Yeah, it'll be a road trip. Almost every weekend, like Callie says, is a road trip, And so we'll talk about different things and different subjects. Perhaps even the difficulties or the challenges we find at a particular fair that we're headed to. And so
And you're never going to know because we're going to be live.
yeah. So
it's an adventure every single time we step foot in the car. Trust me.
exactly. But we welcome your comments, and we welcome your any thoughts that you might have on future subjects, because we're open to them.
Yeah. And just so you all know, we are neither one of us are experts. We love to learn. We love to discuss things. And we're constantly learning. And so your feedback and your comments are going to help us too.
And truly, the cornerstone of the metaphysical world is constant learning, constant growing.
Yep.
We see far too many people who become stuck. They said, I've learned enough, or I don't need to grow anymore. But these are the ones who typically are the jealous ones. They're the ones who are upset because we have a following or we do this. So the cornerstone, the real secret to the metaphysical world is continual growth.
Yeah. Last thing I'd like to touch on is our fair.
Yes.
We're going to have our first fair this year. It's going to be in August.
In August 19th through the 21st.
And it's going to be in Kansas City.
Outside
of Kansas City.
Overland Park. Overland Park, Kansas, at the Abdallah Shriners Building. And that's going to be at 5300 Metcalf Avenue.
Excellent.
In Overland Park, Kansas.
And we're excited. So
we're very excited.
We hope to see you all there. If you mention the video, $1 off.
$1 off.
$1 off.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
All right, guys. Well, we're going to go. We will drop another video later.
All righty.
And we'll see you later.
You have a wonderful day.